Hi, guys, and welcome. So, today I want to be speaking with you about how to move from abandonment to empowerment. And stick with me because you're probably going to have some aha moments that will change your life. Because a lot of times we have unconscious patterns that have been put in place by unconscious programming from our childhood, from things that we can't even remember. And once we bring them into awareness, we have this aha moment, and that's when we can create some big shifts in our lives. So, before I go into the process of moving from abandonment to empowerment, I want to bring to your awareness how abandonment and how abandonment wounds can create this soundtrack in your life of not good enough, not worthy. So, abandonment wounds starts early on in childhood when our needs are not met, when our parents are not able to be there for us in the way that we need them to. I go deeper into this into another video, 5 ways to heal abandonment wounds. So I just want to remind you that early on in childhood, if our needs are not met, if we are going through a lot of trauma, if we are physically, emotionally, mentally abandoned by our caretakers, we will internalize these beliefs of I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve attention, I don't deserve to be prioritized. And that bleeds into the rest of your life where you will neglect yourself, you will abandon yourself because that's the unconscious programming that you bring with you into your adult life. And your conscious mind might be like, no, that's not true because I have a lot of success in my life. But I want to bring to your awareness this subtle energy, a soundtrack that's in the background, because abandonment wounds can go into 2 ways. It can go into perfectionism and it can go into self-destructive behaviors, self-sabotage. So if you have gone into the perfectionism route where you have a lot of success in your life, still pay attention to the soundtrack that's in the background, how you are feeling about your success. Are you pushing through success in your life with this soundtrack of, I need to work really hard, I'm actually not smart enough for this, I don't deserve it? And when success happens, do you just kind of brush it off like nothing? So I leaned into a lot of perfectionism from all of my abandonment wounds and became an overachiever. And no matter how good grades I got in school, no matter how much I excelled in university, no matter how much I climbed up in the corporate world, no matter how many achievements I was able to create, there was this flat tone in the background of not good enough, not worthy, and still not good enough, still not worthy. It's not enough. I'm not enough. And that paints the energy of how you experience your life. So the self sabotage goes into settling, it goes into lack of action, it goes into not prioritizing yourself because the beliefs are saying you're not worthy anyways, so why even try? And it's a self protective mechanism that has been put into place, but it's, it's a default. Because if we're born into a world, and it's not only our parenting, it's the society as well, the collective programming of fear, of shame, of guilt, of pressure, of perfectionism, that programs us into behaving in this self destructive way and prevents us from fully being able to embody the way that we really want to feel. And I've experienced so much of that in my own life. I would have, even in lots of client sessions in the past, I would give the most amazing sessions, and my clients would have insane breakthroughs. And they would say things like, I've never experienced anything like this in my entire life. And I want to work with you more. And I would get lots of referrals. And I'd just kind of be like, eh, just brush it off like it was nothing. So obviously I've had to do a lot of healing and still always expanding my healing, because the beautiful thing about abandonment wounds is that you can turn them into empowerment. It's the same with shame, but that's another video. So the beautiful thing is once you become aware, so maybe you're having some aha moments now, like, oh yeah, I'm actually a high achiever, but I don't really feel worthy of it. Or in relationships, I play small or I give too much. Or other areas in your life where you are actually not taking action on the things that you know are really good for you and that would create a better future for you. And that stems from abandonment wounds and the beliefs of not good enough, not worth it, it's not why me, it's not for me, I can't have all of that success. If you didn't have that, why would you not act on your highest timeline? If you didn't have that, why would you not call in the best opportunities for you, the best experiences for you, the best relationships for you? Because you would just be a magnet and match to those realities, and you would actually have a frequential feeling of worthiness. And worthiness is not this egoic, on a pedestal, better than other people frequency. Worthiness is simply acknowledging the true nature of who you are, which is unconditional love, who is deserving of everything that you wish, who's deserving of everything that you want to call in, and that you are a true creator of your reality. And you can call in your creational abilities and receive all of the things that you wish to create for yourself. So that's a whole part of the awakening process, also awakening to our true nature, which is also another topic, another video. But this is the beautiful thing about realizing our abandonment wounds, because then we become aware of where we are playing small, where we are contracting ourselves, where we are prioritizing everyone else apart from ourselves and to our own detriment. And also where we are giving too much, where we are exhausting ourselves, where we are overachieving and not receiving back because we're not feeling like we're worthy enough. So the beautiful thing about this is becoming aware of these patterns can make you and start to notice in these little micro moments in your day, oh, I am actually prioritizing someone else before myself now. I'm actually letting my boundary being stepped over. I am actually not claiming the things that I know is good for me. I'm not taking action on something that is important to me. Why am I not taking action on something that's important to me? You get to start to ask yourself these questions and become aware. And you will feel in this moment like, oh, okay, this is where empowerment can start to bleed in. Also, this is where subconscious reprogramming is incredibly efficient because from the age of 0 to 7, your brain is in a constant theta state and so much neurological wiring is happening at that time. So if there's a lot of neglect, if there's abandonment, if there's abuse, if there's trauma, and this doesn't have to be, crazy. It could just be like your parents were, just not emotionally there for you, or you didn't have a lot of healthy conversations and you had needs that just weren't met. It happens to all of us. Then the neurological patterns that started to form in your brain at that early age in the subconscious is it's not worth asking for help. It's not worth trying. It's not worth going for things that are important for you. It's not worth trying to build healthy relationships. Asking and having your needs met lead to pain. So all of these protective mechanisms get set into place. And then we also start to look for that same familiarity in our adult lives because we look for what's familiar, even if it's destructive. So the power of subconscious reprogramming and rewiring your own brain, like your computer, is that those neurological pathways will start to fade off and you can actually create new neurological pathways that will fire off different neurological signals that will make you feel differently, that will make you think differently, and that will make you take different actions. And this is where you're doing the quantum shifting. This is where you're leaping. This is where you are turning into a different person. If you're into Joe Dispenza, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So the power of subconscious reprogramming is that we literally turn off those old destructive neurological pathways that are they're like rivers, so much water has gone through these pathways where you've repeated these behaviors over and over and over again. That it's become second nature for you to just like not prioritize yourself or to overachieve or to not feel worthy of success or to not even try for success because you're not good enough for it. That's so normalized in the brain. It's the first pathways that the brain will just shoot off in order to protect yourself and keep yourself alive. It's just a protection mechanism. It's very normal. So, and it's immediate and it's unconscious. And that's why a lot of times people will feel like they don't have a deliberate control over their lives. They don't feel like they're in the creational seat of their lives and things are just running on default and they can't change the way that they are because the brain will just fire these off before you even get you don't even get to tell your brain. The brain will just fire it off for your safety, but actually it's holding you back. So the power of subconscious reprogramming and reprogramming your own mind is that you will literally starve those rivers, those pathways of not worthy, don't even try, or give too much, or all of those destructive thought patterns. They will be starved. They will have a drought. All of the water will start to seep out of them and they will fade away. And then the new neurological pathways that are being created in subconscious reprogramming is you are worthy enough. You can choose yourself. You can prioritize yourself. It's healthy, and also remove any, clutter around that being selfish, that being mean, that being cold-hearted. And then what this begins to do is you have these new areas of your brain firing off and it will feel like start to feel like a new person. I've had a lot of people say to me, I'm just different. Because then you have new, healthy, unconscious still patterns that just fire off automatically. Some of my clients said all of my bad patterns or my unhealthy habits just fell away without even needing to think about it. Because we shift the dormant neurological pathways that are running automatically without you even having a conscious, deliberate control over it. So you can rewire your brain to fire off, I'm good enough to receive. It's easy for me to receive. It's easy for me to achieve success. It's easy for me to have healthy relationships. It's easy for me to set boundaries. It's easy for me to speak my truth. It's easy for me to create the life that I want. I trust myself. I trust my skills. I trust, all of these things that we start to program into the brain, and the brain will then start to fire off. You will start to think differently. You will start to feel differently. And most importantly, you will start to act differently. I have come such a long way in my journey. I come from like deep, deep poverty and lots of, self-doubt and lots of self-neglect. I remember I would just go such a long time with never buying myself any clothes, just like never going to the dentist, never upgrading any of my equipment. And just by default, it's just my automatic behavior and just pour all my attention to everyone else. And by shifting that, and it didn't feel good, but it's like a fish in water. It's so normalized that it doesn't even know that there's anything else that exists. So when I started to shift these things around, and also for my clients, you create a new reality that becomes the new norm, where prioritizing yourself becomes normal and it feels good. And you start to actually feel what it feels like to feel worthy of receiving, to feel worthy of prioritizing yourself, to feel good about taking action. Because the thing is, if you have low self-worth and you have abandonment issues, and if you feel like you're not worthy of what it is that you wish to receive, more money, more love, more confidence, taking action in that direction will feel like you will feel more resistance. But when you have the actual belief of, I'm worthy of fun, I'm worthy of joy, I'm worthy of receiving, I'm worthy of having a beautiful life, I'm worthy of traveling the world, I'm worthy of creating, you name it, taking action in that direction will feel more effortless and normal. Because since you have the programming in place, the brain will fire off the thought and the feeling will be there and you will move into that direction. The inspired idea, the thought will come to you and you will simply act on it because why would you not? So in the other, abandonments, not so worthy, all of that, you would not act on things because why would you? Because you're not worthy. Whilst in the opposite direction, of course you would act on it because you're worthy of it, because you can have a fulfilling life, because it's normal for you to be supported. It's normal for you to be loved. It's normal for you to love yourself. It's another of courseness. That's on the other side of the coin. So we want to create these new of coursenesses for you, where it's the new norm is that you self-prioritize. The new norm is that you can receive lots of love and care and support. So the new norm is that you feel good in yourself about who you are. That's what it boils down to. You feeling really good in yourself about who you are. Because what happens, we pop out of this womb and then we get programmed with all of this ridiculous stuff that we get bullied in school, and our parents might say stuff to us, and it over time just sort of like hacks down on our sense of self. So getting back your strong sense of self and who you are, not in this egoic way, but in this abundantly, unconditionally loving way of loving who you are, the core of who you are, which is the same in everyone else. And that is a truly beautiful journey, because then you start to recognize this in others as well. And you become more kind and generous and compassionate towards others, because you can only love another as much as you love yourself. So it has so many beautiful ripple effects, because you become this receiver of all of this goodness for yourself. And then you recognize yourself in others, and you would only want that for others as well. So the shift that happens is not only for yourself, but it's for others too. So imagine the dramatic difference you can have and create in your life when you make these shifts into self-love, into finding worth in yourself, into choosing and prioritizing yourself, and then receiving all of this and experiencing that expansion, and then just wanting the same for others. And then you have that ripple effect into everyone around you as well. I mean, what kind of change can you create? That's when it becomes exciting. And that's when you start to feel like, I am in the creational seat. Yes, I co-create with the universe, and there are higher forces at play that you can communicate with, that you can receive support from. But you start to have more deliberate influence in how you can manifest and create your life. And that's the empowering part. So that's how we shift from abandonment to empowerment, because you get to realize and shift these, shadows in yourself into light. So the more shadow you have, the more light you can shine. So this is also why I find subconscious reprogramming really exciting. A lot of people find the healing journey like, oh, so dark and heavy and trauma and wounds. No, it's exciting. I'm always excited about when I find a new belief in myself. I'm like, oh, I found something. That means I can turn it around and turn it into something empowering. So get excited. Get excited about shining a light on all of your stuff. Get excited about discovering, oh, this is where I have some limiting beliefs. Oh, this is where I'm not prioritizing myself. Oh, wow, that's where I'm playing small. Oh, wow, that's where I don't feel worthy. Because that's where you get to flip it around and start to do subconscious reprogramming on yourself, and start to change your neurological pathways into a automatic pathway that serves you instead of disserves you. So this is my empowering message for you today. You can change your life. It is possible. If I have done it, you can do it too. So maybe I'll make another video about how different my life is now, because I don't think that's been very obvious. So maybe I'll make another video about how different my life is and how different I am compared to when I was a kid, and how I grew up and all of that. So you can get a real sense of what true transformation can really look like. Obviously I have a lot of client testimonials and things like that, but it's nice to get a little personal story. So if you want that, I can create that as well, just to create some relatability of knowing of where you can go. Because you can really create anything that you want. I want to remind you of that. You live in a world of infinite possibilities. And sometimes people feel excited when they hear that. There is truly infinite possibilities. Anything can happen to you at any single point in time. You never know what might happen. And then we want to, in that infinite possibility existence, we want your radar to be geared towards receiving positive synchronicities. So if you have a dormant programming of I receive, I'm worthy, I am lucky, I am all of these things, that's what's going to be reflected back to you in this world of infinite possibilities. So I want to leave you with this today and have this simmer into your subconscious and allow yourself to kind of enjoy that any hardship that you've gone through, any limiting beliefs that you have can really be flipped around into something empowering. It really, really can. So if you want to go deeper and you want to go deeper into the power method and the subconscious reprogramming, you're more than welcome to visit my website, ask me any questions. I'm more than happy to be here to support you through an empowering transformational journey. And I will see you in the next video.